Hello there. What is going on, everyone? Boba Fett Daimyo expansion is up for sort of preview on the Asmodee France site, and I thought this would be a good idea to sit down and talk a little bit about the new mercenary slash rebel version of Boba Fett coming for Star Wars Legion. If you guys are new here to the channel, you got a few days left to enter to win that $25 Amazon gift card giveaway. All you have to do is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. I want to hear some of your hot takes on Boba Fett. Especially whether it's from the films, the shows, or even gaming. What are some of your hottest takes on Boba Fett? All right. Also want to thank today's sponsor, Luxury Playstyle. Amazing full metal tokens for Star Wars Legion. Check them out. Head over to luxuryplaystyle.com. Get your orders in before the holiday rush. These make great gifts. Let your friends and family know to head over here and pick you up some awesome tokens compatible with Star Wars Legion. They have compatible with X-Wing, Magic the Gathering, Arkham, Keyforge, L5R, all kinds of games. And you definitely tell them to use code Crabbok VIP. That's going to save 15% off your order. Also, orders of $35 or more that use that code while supplies last are going to get a free lightsaber nunchuck token. They got the Crabbok symbol on the front, great for marking your commander in Legion, all that good stuff. So, and it's got a 5 on the back for high damage counts. Very cool stuff. So head over to Luxury Playstyle, use code Crabbok VIP. All right, so Boba Fett Daimyo expansion. It's up on the Asmodee France site. No date listed yet, but presumably before holiday time. That's a guess. I think we'll probably see it before the end of the year. I think that's very, very possible. But then again, sometimes December dates get pushed to January, so it's really anybody's guess. Cool thing is we get some close-up looks at some of the concept art. We are going to get a helmeted and a non-helmeted version of the Daimyo Boba Fett, and this is definitely a really nice paint job that they put on here too. I really like both of these. My big hope with this particular miniature is it lies with this tactical rock here. I'm hoping that the rock is not part of his foot. I'm hoping that, like, similar to some Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff, I kind of hope the foot has like a little peg and the rock has a hole and they can go in there. So basically, I hope the rock is optional. Because on some of the minis, especially like doing Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff, there's times where I just don't like all the extra flair they put as part of the base shenanigans and stuff like that. And granted, even if it's one piece, you can always take an X-Acto or a Clippers or whatever and kind of clip that foot off. Because maybe I want to put them on a pile of skulls. Maybe I want to do something different. Maybe I want the jetpack, in flight, and maybe I want him kind of taken off or something like that, and flying or whatever. Or maybe I've got the deluxe bases. They sell deluxe bases for Legion, right? That are like Death Star flooring. And why would there be a giant boulder on the Death Star floor, right? So like it doesn't necessarily make sense for all of the environments, because you may not be doing a place that has big boulders. You may want some other type of basing material. So I'm kind of hoping they go for that. But that's really kind of small potatoes. We got a lot more stuff to talk about with the Boba Fett Daimyo expansion. First off, he is a rebel-capable Boba Fett. While we don't have any news of other battle forces that he would, in theory, be able to go along with, he, at least for now, can go as an operative into the Rebels, which is a stark contrast from the updated version of Boba Fett that can go in the Empire. And of course, both versions of Boba, the old and the new, are now mercs. So if you have the original Boba Fett that was Imperial, he's been replaced by one that looks like this. And we'll talk about both of them in a minute. But he's 120 points. He has 2 training and 2 equipment. He has Jump 1, which you would expect. He has, of course, Impervious, which you would expect. He has Arsenal 2, which seems a little strange on the card if you look at it at face value, because of the fact that he has this carbine ranged weapon, and he has a nice Gadurfi stick melee weapon, but he has nothing else. So where is he going to be able to use both weapons? He can't. Of course, if you remember, there are command cards for Boba Fett, at least as they exist right now in the Empire, that are going to allow him to gain an extra weapon, and so Arsenal 2 will work for that. But there could also be equipment that comes with this. We haven't seen all of the upgrade cards that are going to be coming with this expansion yet. So Arsenal 2 is kind of an open-ended card. It's allowing you to use Imperial Boba's command cards with this version of Boba. It's also allowing you possible equipment-based weapons and being able to use those with Arsenal 2. Or if you kind of go without those options, then it's maybe a wasted stat. But it is what it is. He has an amazing ability called Independent Standby. So we've seen Independent already with a lot of the new Mercs and Shadow Collective stuff if you're not issued an order. Now, because he is a Merc, Rebel commanders won't be able to just outright issue him order unless, of course, they have underworld connections. So, and most probably aren't running that. And so he won't be getting orders unless, of course, he issues them to himself. So Independent Standby is very likely to trigger quite a bit. So you might run him without any of his own command cards just to get a free standby every turn. And, of course, what makes that even better is that he's got Sentinel. So now he's got range 3 free standby every turn, and he's got a range 3 weapon. So he's got some really good stuff going on. Now, he doesn't have Charge or Relentless, which that would be kind of bonkers if he did. But he also has Sharpshooter 1 and Tactical 1. So he can move, get into position. He just seems like somebody you want to rush in and get in the middle of your opponent's stuff, maybe on your last activation. Start off with a standby token. Force whoever that goes first, they must attack him. Because if they aim or move, do anything else first, he is going to trigger a standby. So just a really cool stuff, and it's a very fun time, and I feel like there's some really cool shenanigans. I'm gonna show some kind of team up things and some interesting ideas at the end of the video, but one that is really cool right now that I'm thinking about is if you were to, and this sounds almost like sacrilege, I think. I feel like it's a little bit of sacrilege. But what if you were to play Boba Fett in a list for the Rebels with Han Solo, and you had Boba Fett right in the middle, but you have Han Solo there close too, and he plays Reckless Diversion, his 2-pip, and he issues it to like some Rebel trooper. Now all of a sudden you have to attack this Rebel trooper, right? And then Boba has to trigger his standby, right? Like so many crazy combos that you can do, and I love that. And I have some more I'll show you at the end of the video, which are just really interesting. He's got Sharpshooter 1, Tactical 1, Surge to crit, Search for defense, red defense die. He's gonna be hard to kill. 5 health, 3 courage. And 2 speed. Now, he's a Mando that doesn't have speed 3. He's an older Mando. He's not quite as quick. If he was speed 3 and then had that, he could jump right in behind enemy lines in no time. So it's going to take him a reasonable amount of time. But he looks pretty good. Now, he does not have bounty. So he's not trying to be a bounty hunter right now. He's just going to kill everybody. He doesn't care about the extra victory points. He just wants to murder stuff, and I'm here for it. So he looks pretty cool. We've also seen command cards. He's got some good command cards, right? He's got some interesting command cards. I'll say that. Also, a Simple Man is 1 pip. If he is not issued an order with this card, he gains Marksman. This round, he gains an aim token and increases the range of his ranged weapons by 1 to a maximum of 5. Now, the wording on this is interesting. It implies that it's just maybe future-proofing or being open-ended, but all right, he's only got the 1 ranged weapon. It's range 3, right? Well, keep in mind, Imperial Boba can use this as well, and he has 2. But there's no way it's hitting range 5. So I think they just want that to be open-ended in case of future stuff. Maybe there's a new supply deck. Remember, like the condition supply deck, you can gain stuff. Maybe they'll do another one of those where you can gain a weapon, and maybe there's a range 5 weapon already in there, and they don't want it going up to 6 or something like that, right? Who knows? It's good future-proofing. So that's pretty cool. If Boba Fett is issued an order with this card, at the start of the activation phase, a unit at range 1 of Boba Fett may perform a speed 1 move. Really cool if you've got a Jedi with charge or something like that. Well, I don't think that'll trigger off of a speed X move, but still, it's just good for repositioning. Being able to do moves during the command phase is really, really nice. All right. Two Pip making his way in the galaxy is also Boba Fett. Boba Fett may not perform attack actions during his activation. At the end of his activation, Boba Fett may perform an attack with only the following weapon against each enemy unit at range 1 and in line of sight. And it's a big old Gadurfi whirl thing. They didn't give it a name, but it's the it's the making his way in the galaxy, the Gadurfi onslaught kind of card, and it's got blast, impact 1, and versatile. It's basically a melee attack with reach, I guess you would call it for other wargaming terminology. It's 2 red and a black. Looks pretty good. I mean, looks like it's a good attack now, but he can't do attacks during his activation, which is the price you pay for this. But you're probably going to move twice anyway. Cool thing is, if you happen to run this card on Imperial, Imperial Boba, you got Palpatine out there who can be like, all right, it's not your activation, but now I want you to attack anyway. Ha ha ha. So you can do kind of cool stuff like that. You won't be able to use this weapon though, because I don't think he keeps this weapon the whole. Well, actually, that's an interesting question. Does he keep this weapon the whole round? Like if he goes, does he still technically, is this card still active for the rest of his turn, and could Palp pull the strings on Imperial Boba and let him swing this one more time? I wonder. I'm leaning towards no, because it says he only uses this weapon at the end of his activation, but it's still interesting, right? I think I'm leaning towards no for that, but it's always fun to think about. I love just trying to think about some of these crazy combinations. Which leads us to number 3, Rule with Respect. It's a very, very cool card. Boba Fett and 2 units. And it's cool that like the 1 Pip and then the 3 Pip are both issuing orders out. I think that's groovy. Like especially with the 1 Pip. Like I'm issuing that order to somebody else, and Boba Fett's not getting it. That's generally how I want to do it. But yeah, it's him and 2 units. While Boba Fett has a face-up order token. When a friendly unit at range 1 and in line of sight of him makes a ranged attack, add 1 black die to one of the unit's attack pools. So really, really cool. Granted, it's basically 2 extra black dice. I guess, and it's an extra black die for him as well, also. But it's only to one of the attack pools. So if you're splitting fire, like if you've got Death Troopers there. Death Troopers are one of my favorite units for splitting fire, because there's like you can split them, like you can have every mini in a Death Trooper unit firing at a different target, putting out suppression like crazy. You got the heavy fire in their weapon, you got the config, you got 2 weapons, you can even have grenades, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff with Death Troopers, right? So, but you're not getting a die to each pool, so you're just getting basically one extra die. So. It's a fun one. Now it's not going to be great for everybody, but there's some combinations that I think are pretty cool with it. And which leads me to the whole idea of you now have 6 command cards to play for Boba Fett, and so we've got Imperial Boba Fett, we've got Rebel Boba Fett, and none of these command cards specify faction. So. Whipcord launcher is still good. Like I feel like a lot of builds may want to take the Whipcord launcher. It doesn't do anything super crazy, but it's still putting out suppression. It's still putting out immobilize. Immobilize is crazy good. It gives him that as a free action. It also allows him to escape. It's not the greatest card in the world, but it's good. Like I feel like his new cards are better, like all around better. Like these are going to be like the go-to cards. And these original cards were really lousy for Boba Fett. Like whoever took the jetpack, like the 3 Pip, right? Especially now that like all Mandos have a free jetpack anyway. So I have a theory, and I wonder if we're going to see something that potentially changes these. Maybe Boba Fett gets a gear, an equipment, or even training. Like, I could see it being a training upgrade that's unique to Boba, called like veteran weapon training or something like that allows some of his command cards to effectively be permanent, right? Like what if he got to keep the jetpack launcher, or at least got to play it once and then save it for a future turn, and then got to play the flame projector and save it for another turn, so he doesn't have to play them all at the same time. Like I feel like that would be kind of a cool thing to do, but could be broken. I don't know, but I feel like something like that's coming. I don't think the whipcord launcher would be one that you'd get to do every turn, because if you were doing like immobilizes and suppressions for free every turn as a free action, that might be a little. But then again, it is a 1-pip, so it could be strong. Or maybe they just get one extra charge instead of being like permanent for all game. Maybe each of these top weapons would get one extra charge. I feel like that could be good, but I don't know if they need that kind of balance now that Imperial Boba already got some buffs. He's got independent aim or dodge 1, he's got sharpshooter 2, impervious bounty, arsenal 2, jump 2, but he got some increased dice on his weapons as well, so now he can roll 5 black against somebody instead of just the 3 black over here, which is pretty good. Pretty good. Heck, he can even roll more than 5 black if you play Rule with Respect, right? He can roll 6 black that way. Or go with Simple Man, extend his range, right? So and you can mix and match these. Not one of them is designed for any other Boba. So I thought that's really cool. Let's talk about some other cool things too. I really like the idea of being able to take like a Jyn Erso with a Boba Fett, and trying to go ahead and do some. You'd have to have underworld connections, but maybe trust goes both ways. You get Inspire too, which is always good. But now she can issue an order to Boba, and now they get teamwork, right? And so she's got quick thinking. All of a sudden, Boba's now got extra aims and dodges to go along. Now he's not going to get his standby this turn, but hey, maybe he's going first, right? Maybe he's going first, or maybe Jin's going to go first. She's going to quick thinking. She is going to completely make Boba into a killing machine. That could be really fun. And so I don't know. I feel like this is part of that. We talked about the Han Solo thing also. I've got another one that I was thinking like you play as 3-pip for the extra ranged attacks, right? You play the extra ranged attacks that all the extra ranged attacks get an extra die. Well, first off, what if you have him back there with snipers? Right. Let me go back to the card. I'm gonna jump forward again to the card. So, Rule with Respect. So imagine Boba plays Rule with Respect, and he's hanging out with 2 snipers. They show Fennec Shand there already, which is cool. Although I don't see it really as much with Mando. Maybe if you're going for the bounty, but Fennec Shand is probably going to be a sniper whenever she does show up for this game, and I'm sure she will. She seems like she's built for this game. But if you have him just hanging out with snipers that are already like Imperial snipers, Rebel snipers, whatever, extra black die. I mean, you already got a nice Pierce 1 attack pool. You've already got the high velocity, because it's not changing the weapon in the pool, it's just adding a die. So you still have high velocity, so no dodges can get spent there. I think that's going to be really nice. But also anybody using saber throw, right? Darth Maul throwing 4 red and a black. Well, hold on. Can't do it with Darth Maul. Can do it with Jedi Luke. Can do it with Jedi Luke. He's doing like 4. He's doing 4 black already. So you add a die to that, 5 black from Jedi Luke. Darth Vader, 3 red and a black. Saber throw. Forget about it, right? Like there's a lot of cool things you can do with Rule with Respect. But then again, if you're running Boba and Vader, that's gonna be a lot of points. But it could be fun, though. I mean, sometimes fun is all you need, right? Well, if you're running either one of those, Luke is also expensive, too. So, I don't know. Those are some of my thoughts. I think Boba looks pretty cool, though. And hopefully we'll see. I think he's got more. I think there's going to be more to him than we've seen so far. I think we'll get some kind of unique equipment or weapon upgrades or something. I feel like there's going to be some way for him to get a little bit more power out of those initial cards. But I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. Maybe people will start getting him, and nobody ever uses those, those original Imperial Boba command cards. Maybe people still never use them, because I still don't think they're that great. They're very situational, and I have a hard time justifying a jetpack on Boba that everybody gets naturally, and Boba has to use a command card to get it. I don't know. I feel like there's got to be a way to make those better, and it could receive an errata, or they could just get some kind of point cost equipment that he gives them an extra charge, right? Like that's what I think would be pretty fun. But I guess we'll have to see, because who knows what that would even be costed at. Would that be a 10-point upgrade? Would it be a 20-point upgrade because you're getting all these extra weapon charges? It's hard to say. But I'm only in the business of speculating, not in actually creating this stuff. So your guess is as good as mine. Let me know what you think down in the comments section. I will talk to you guys later. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to join our Discord and keep the discussion going. Links are down in the description below. Also social media links and all that good stuff. I will talk to you guys later. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing and help make this channel possible. I will talk to you soon. May the force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. This is the way. Wash your socks. I have spoken, and goodbye there.